Hello, fellow Gishers. This is Lena. I wanted to record a preemptive video to kind of explain the commandments of Gishwhes and how things operate. It's kind of confusing at first, so I kind of took the commandments and I took basically the things you really need to know out of them. Because there is a lot of randomness and, yeah, stuff like this going on in the commandments. Yeah, stuff like that. So that was Matthew, by the way. He's also on our team. This is Bilbo escaping. So basically, the first thing I want to tell you is that when you are doing your Gishwhes items, if you take a video or a picture of something, you're already giving up the privacy on it. So when you are submitting an item to Gishwhes, you can't say, oh, I don't want that shown anywhere, because basically they make beautiful yearbooks every year. And they also have award ceremonies, and they have the Hall of Fame that you can be in as well. So your privacy is not there for Gishwhes. Second thing I want to tell you is that if there's an item on the list and it requires you to break the law, don't do it. There are certain things on the list where it's legal in one area, but it's not legal in another. So if it's illegal, don't do it. Another thing I want to say is a lot of these items kind of require you to do some crazy stunts. Some of them, you know, going up on a ladder into a tree or something crazy like that. It's not too crazy, but for simplicity. But anyway, you want to be safe. Make sure that whatever you're doing, you have the right equipment and you have the right safety gear so you don't get hurt. But you also don't want to be decent. In this scavenger hunt, Bilbo, where are you going? Okay, in this scavenger hunt, decency and self-respect is out the door. For 1 week. You can make it. The next thing I want to tell you is that, on a serious note, some of these items are not up to interpretation. They will state whether it's flexible. So it will state you can Photoshop on this item, or you can draw something for this item instead of the actual item. But if it doesn't state something, you cannot interpret that. Basically, if it says you must have a blonde-haired child stand with the Queen of England with a starry night behind them, you cannot interpret that item. It has to be the Queen of England. It has to be a blonde-haired child. It can't be Photoshopped. It can't be anything fake. Another thing is, another good tip is if you have a really good picture and the quality sucks, you're going to lose points for it. So the easiest way to make sure you get the most points possible is to make sure you have your photo quality is excellent. It kind of, to me, it feels like photo art. You can create something beautiful out of a simple picture. Another thing you want to do is be creative, definitely, in this competition. If you are creative, they will definitely award you in points for that. And it's also extremely beneficial to you as well. Another thing you want to do is make sure you have fun. When you have fun and you record videos and you take photos, it shows. So you get the points for it. You get more points. The judges will definitely see that you're having fun in the videos and photos and whatnot. But it's also good for, you know, your own memories. Another thing you want to do is pay attention to detail. So you're going to want to pay attention to what's in the background, like Saddle Up or my hockey photos or anything like that. You want to make sure you know what's in the background. That's another kind of thing, like to the photo art kind of thing. If you know what's in the background and you decide to put something else there, like if I was outside or something instead of this background, you can get more points for that. One of the #1 tips that has been on the commandments for a long time is to pay attention to detail, but also to make the judges laugh. If you make the judges laugh, you're way more likely to get points rather than if you were being completely serious, or, you know, if you have an opportunity to be completely silly and completely outrageous, do it. The scoring on the items is going to be by the number that's on the item. You'll definitely see, it'll say the list number, like the item number, what it is, and then it will say on the right hand side, it will give you a number, and that's the point value of whatever item that is. Another thing that I guess I want to mention, just because I can't stand it myself, is no complaining. This is on the commandments. You can look it up under the Gishwhes website page, under commandments. It says no complaining, no whining, no griping, blah, blah, blah. You're supposed to have fun, so make sure you're not stressing yourself so much over it that, you know, you're just, oh my God, they didn't do this on this date, blah, blah, blah. You know, you don't want to get so stressed out, and then you're going to complain, and you get nasty. The whole point is to have fun. Another thing is that a lot of these items are actually riddles. So it'll state you're not allowed to ask any of the admin what does this item mean? What does that item mean? What do you mean by saying this? You're not allowed to ask that because they're supposed to be riddles. They're supposed to be, well, what do you mean by that? You're supposed to think about a lot of them. Some of them are pretty simple. So, another thing that I don't think we really have to worry about is outsourcing, which basically is if, say I'm friends with, Matthew, give me an actor name.
Orlando Bloom.
Okay, say I'm friends with Orlando Bloom on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever. If I'm like, hey, Orlando Bloom, ask your fans to take this picture for me. And then I have like a million of this picture coming from all over the world, you know, stuff like that. That's called outsourcing, and that's not fair for the other teams. So you're supposed to be using your team to get these pictures. You can have like your friends or whatever do it for you. Say I have a friend that pilots an airplane and can actually, you know, fly an airplane in the sky, and I can't. I can ask him to do whatever item it is that requires an airplane, which, by the way, was on the list last year. So, just as an example, you can do that, but you cannot ask 1,000 people for the same item and choose whichever one. The biggest thing that I have to tell you, because it's just so popular now, is you cannot share your videos or your pictures or anything you're submitting to Gishwhes. He's trying to eat the pencil. You can't put anything, I'm sorry, let me start over. You can't post any of your photos or videos publicly so that other people can see them. That's because, I think, because other teams can view them. So, make sure when you're doing Gishwhes, do not post them on Facebook. I will be creating a Facebook group and posting this on the Facebook group just in case you need it for future reference. I don't recommend putting it on there either because I'm not quite sure 100% on the privacy of Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook person myself, but don't post them on Instagram. Don't post them on Facebook. But once Gishwhes is over, you're allowed to post them. Another thing I want to tell you is a lot of people are curious on the judging and whatnot. One of the judges for sure is going to be Misha Collins, who's on Supernatural as Castiel, and among several other things. So he is one of the judges, but there's also 5 other judges involved. So it's not just him, it's other people as well that will be viewing your photos and judging. It's usually one of his kids, or more than one. Okay, so another thing I wanted to tell you guys is there are 2 things on the commandment list this year that are items, and I've never figured it out in the past what they really are, because I've seen them in the past, but I've never really put 2 and 2 together. I guess I just didn't put too much thought in it. Number 27 says, imagine if your entire world existed on the inside of your cheek. Be sure to have a maid clean the place up a bit before I drop by. I don't know if that's going to be an item. I don't know if that's going to be something we need to worry about, but I'm going to say it. Number 36 on that list is A. I don't know if that could be like A, B, C, you know, like a list. Who has been storing their pistachios in my clothes hamper? Okay, so there you go. Those are the 2 things on the list that I noticed that are a little bit wonky. It also says, For the week of Gishwhes, you shall not have ice cream or kidney beans. So, there's that. The last thing I want to go over with you is any kind of item submission. If you're confused, you need help, feel free to send me a message, call me, text me, you know, whatever, however you have my information on the Facebook group as well. Feel free to ask me, because this is my 3rd year doing this. But basically, to turn it, say I just took a photo and I want to turn that photo into Gishwhes under the item that it's for. You go to the item list on the Gishwhes page, and you're going to click on the item list that it's on, and you're going to click on, I believe it says submission or item submission on the right hand side. When you click on that, it'll give you either a place to put your URL or whatever it's requiring. So I took a picture, I go to Gishwhes, and I go underneath item list. I go down to the number it is. So it's number 87 for ice cream or something. So you go down to ice cream, and then you submit the item there. For videos, when you are uploading the videos, to be able to submit them, you're going to upload them to YouTube. But you want to make sure that they are under unlisted, so that the only people that can see them are the Gishwhes judges. So that way it's not public. Videos also have to be 15.7 seconds or less. They cannot exceed 15.7 seconds. You're beautiful. Okay, so the images have to be done through Imgur, I believe is what it's called, imgur.com. So basically you put them on there, and then you use the URL to turn them in. The last thing I want to tell you guys, my #1 best advice for people who are new or for people who are returning is item number 42 on the commandment list. Be precise, be creative, be courageous, be shameless, and be Gishwhes. So this is going to be an amazing year, and I'm very excited. It's going to be so much fun doing it with a couple of my friends and a couple of people I haven't met yet. So until then, bye-bye!